Hello, Jack here, and today I'm just going to tell a story. It's a funny thing that happened that had an unintended positive consequence in my life that I didn't notice until very recently. So like a lot of people over the pandemic, I acquired a bit of a delivery habit over that first several months, and around 2 or 3 days a week I was ordering fast food deliveries for lunch or dinner, often both, and typically the most garbage fast food that you can think of. I was pretty chill and forgiving of myself. I mean, it's not weird that in the mental health state I was in, I wanted to constantly have fast food delivered to my door, but the rapid weight gain and constant drain on my finances due to constantly making orders large enough to feel justified paying the huge markup for delivery directly contradicted my chances of getting gender reassignment surgery in the future, both on a health and a financial level. So I kept telling myself, this is really not good for me. This is going to derail my goals. I need to stop ordering artisanal mac and cheese twice a week, starting tomorrow. Just one more. Daddy's got to get his mac and cheese fixed tonight. So this was my state of being for over a year, just constantly using any extra money that I had, paying for upcharges, tips, and fees to get stuff delivered to my door I shouldn't have been eating regularly anyway if I want to be post-op by the time I'm 45. Dear viewer, I have not ordered delivery even one time since the beginning of September. The habit was absolutely kicked out from under me in the course of one wood-splintering event through no fault of my own. I had decided to get Burger King for dinner, which I had for a number of times over that year. Burger King has in-app ordering, but ultimately that gets sent out to DoorDash. At least that's how it works here. So in a half hour or so, I see some headlights in the driveway and my meal is conveniently left on my doorstep. I wave to the driver. We'll call him Dan, although that's not his real name. And as I take it in, ready to revel in my deep-fried feast of, I don't know, probably an 8,000 calorie chicken sandwich or something, I remember distinctly hearing a very loud bang, but I didn't think anything of it at the time. I thought maybe the driver's car had backfired, or his door was particularly loud or something. He lingers in the driveway for a minute, but the headlights eventually disappear and I continue eating. After a half hour or so, my roommate, also my landlord, comes home. "What happened to our mailbox?" he asks. "What do you mean?" I reply. I go outside and find that the mailbox has been positively slaughtered. The wood post it's been mounted on has been snapped in half, and the mailbox itself is in pieces on the ground. I immediately remember Dan the DoorDash man, and I remember the loud bang I heard as he left. Because of the bang and the fact that the mailbox was broken against the traffic and not with it, I realized that in all likelihood he probably hit it while backing out of the driveway. So I text Dan using the number Burger King/DoorDash provided for me. "Did you just run over my mailbox?"
I don't think so. Who is this?
Is this Dan?
Yes.
Did you just drop a Burger King order off at Pumpernickel Street?
Yes.
Well, there was a mailbox there, and then after you left, the mailbox is now horizontal on the lawn. He gets really embarrassed and gives me his actual cell phone number, which I call. I am not good on the phone, so I'm just awkwardly talking to this DoorDash driver who is saying he doesn't remember running the mailbox over, but he immediately concedes that it probably was him, and he says he'll do whatever it takes to make things right. My roommate is telling me what he wants, which is a new mailbox, and I'm relaying this to Dan the DoorDash man, who is clearly shocked by this request because I guess he didn't expect that replacing the thing he destroyed was going to be on the table. I eventually give my roommate his number so he can deal with it, because it's not my house and it's not my mailbox. I want to take a quick detour and talk about what kind of was going through my head at this time, because I'm sure a lot of people would immediately have reported this to DoorDash instead of trying to work it out with the driver. Do I believe that Dan the DoorDash man ran over the mailbox? Yes, I absolutely do. Do I believe he knew about it while it was happening? To be dead honest, also yes. I think that he backed over the mailbox, took a minute in the driveway to compose himself and consider the pros and cons of honesty, and then got scared and drove away. I can't actually confirm that this is what happened, but I do believe he just hoped we would deal with it on our own. But even so, DoorDash is an awful company that is riddled with labor violations, and I'm not going to go through all of them here because this is meant to be a funny video, but I wanted to be clear that a big part of the reason I didn't contact DoorDash itself about this is because I did not and do not have the confidence in that company to believe that Dan the DoorDash man was going to be treated fairly. And if he did know he ran over the mailbox, I have every reason to suspect that DoorDash's chronic unfair treatment of drivers contributed to the decision not to say anything. I also suspect that he probably will be pretty hyper aware of mailboxes in the future. Anyway, after this conversation is over, I go and I inspect the damage a bit, and it wasn't nearly as bad as it initially looked. The top of the mailbox wasn't damaged, it just slid back into place, and the bulk of the damage was on the wooden post, not the mailbox itself, which had like a ding and a couple of breaks in the bottom, which are covered by grass anyway. My roommate was very skeptical about this, but I convinced him to let me just try gluing it back together with strong two-part adhesive made for wood, which costs like $3.50 and worked pretty well. If you didn't know what happened, you probably wouldn't know the difference. Now, this was a freak accident. Not that there isn't a big problem out there with DoorDash drivers destroying property and DoorDash not handling it properly, but I had gotten dozens of orders delivered to me with no issue whatsoever at this point, and I have no reason to suspect that it will ever happen again. But regardless, Dan the DoorDash man did not only destroy our mailbox, he destroyed my urge to get food delivered to me entirely. I have not ordered delivery even once since this happened, and it wasn't like a conscious thing. Sure, I thought about the mailbox incident sometimes, but I wasn't thinking, man, I'd really like some more Burger King, but if I do that, Dan the DoorDash man might come back and run over the mailbox again. It just kind of imprinted on me that ordering food is now stressful, and that dispelled my urge to ever do it again. Mind you, it did not somehow fix my bad eating habits, I still have plenty of those, but it at the very least was a lot better for my finances. But anyway, that's it. That is the story. Until next time, happy trails.